624 here in New York City and in West Virginia. We're back with the Fox News alert. We now know the identity of that person killed when a garbage truck collided with that Amtrak train packed with half of Congress in it. All the Republican lawmakers traveling to a resort were on that train.
The NTSB now taking over that investigation, trying to figure out exactly what went wrong.
All right, Griff Jenkins is still at the scene right now in Virginia with the breaking details. Griff, behind you is the wreckage.
That's right. Good morning. The identity, by the way, of that fatality, Christopher Foley, 28 years old. But look at this debris field behind me. You see the trash truck, the trash strewn all along the embankment as you work your way up to that rail crossing. The cab of that truck smashed where Mr. Foley, along with two others, were in there, one critically injured, one with minor injuries. And the NTSB working hard on this scene as they have all night. We went to the press conference last night and spoke with the spokesman, Earl Weiner. Here's what he had to say about the investigation.
We expect this to take several days of on-scene work, followed by months back at headquarters. If we find anything that indicates that this was intentional, we will turn that over to the FBI.
Amtrak says, guys, far too common, the wrecks and crashes at railways just like this. But the real remarkable story, those GOP congressmen turned first responders when the impact happened. Guys?
Exactly right. All right, Griff, thank you.
Yeah, lots of good Samaritans. Thank you, Griff. Our next guest was among a handful of the physicians on that train who rushed to the victims to rescue some of them inside the truck, pulling the injured to safety.
All right, Senator Bill Cassidy joins us right now. Dr. Bill Cassidy. Senator, I know you've been through this, and I know it's still fresh, but for our viewers, can you go through what goes through your mind as a doctor when you feel the impact of your train slamming into something?
You're not sure what's happened. You first look to see that those people who are standing who fell are okay. You hear that we hit a truck, and I'm thinking to myself, we have doctors on board, but there's no doctor in that truck. And that truck got slammed harder than we. So I start to work to the back of the train looking for an open door. You go out, you see two people on the ground, and you start to work.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Dr. Cassidy, or Senator Cassidy, your wife is a retired trauma surgeon. She was on board with you traveling. Both of you jumped off the train, I understand, and went to help. What did you see when you got to the truck? Because we're reporting that one of the passengers was killed.
Yes, I went down and I saw Mike Burgess and Brad Winstrup trying to maintain an airway. The fellow had facial trauma, trying to keep his tongue out and again maintain airway. And I picked up his feet to try and get his blood going from his feet down to his heart and his brain. I looked to the right and there's a body there that looks like he's dead. But Dr. Phil Rowe was there, a congressman from Tennessee. My wife approached and others. There's an attempt to revive, but he was dead. I mean, that was pretty clear. And then we turned our attention back to, I never left my attention, but you kind of say, he's dead, focus here.
Yeah. You know, Congressman Winstrom is one of the guys who tended to Steve Scalise at that baseball practice not so long ago. Between that and this, how do you feel? This has been a heck of a year for you. Republicans in Congress.
It has been. I hate to say this, but all of us live as if our lives are going to be within 2 standard deviations of what it's normally. But most times it's that way out in the distance that happens to us. And I've been a doctor long enough that it's not a surprise. It's not what you expect. But all of us can point to, wow, who would have thought that? But it changed a life or lost a life. Mm-hmm. And that was one of these instances.
So, Senator, there's a reporter on CNN, a political commentator, that tweeted this out. A train carrying Republican members of Congress hits a truck near Charlottesville. Or is this a metaphor for American politics today? What's your reaction to that?
It is. If we've gotten to the point in our society where you can't even be civil and understand there's a tragedy and a potentially worse tragedy and feel for that and as part of the human condition, something has died. And hopefully it can be reawakened. But Tim Kaine sent out something very nice. Democratic senator, but sent a very nice tweet. That's good. If someone's sending something like that, they really have to reevaluate their spiritual state. Something is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, a loss of life. Their parents are grieving. The guy who was driving the truck, I'm sure, is so upset this morning. Real quickly, what happened in the situation? Do we know? Was the guy trying to beat the train?
I'm told, yes. I'm told that most commonly there's long coal trains and folks get kind of impatient, so they're slow, so they try and get in front of them. And here comes Amtrak, which is going faster. Not too fast, but faster. But that's what I'm told, not what I directly observed.
Right. And Congress, Senator, before you go, you were heading to, and now you're at, this Republican retreat in West Virginia. Are the activities that were scheduled yesterday still on tap? Is the Vice President, the President, still scheduled to speak to you later?
Yes, the Vice President spoke yesterday. The President will speak today. I'm told Secretaries Mattis and Tillerson will speak. And so it's an important conference. We'll speak of infrastructure packages. So we don't want to be diverted from that. I think it's important to what we do in the Senate and the House. But we will have a constant remembrance of what happened yesterday.
Yeah, you're going to a legislative cliff on February 6th, and you got something to do by March 5th. So there's no time even to look back. You got so much on your plate. Dr. Cassidy, it's always great talking to you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.